Think very long and hard before you go and sign over your work and your ideas to anybody else, let alone a publisher.
How do I score a big name publisher for my book?
Don't. Think of big name publishers like the venture capitalists of ideas and thought leadership, right? So the way that big publishers work is they'll want to bring on 100 new authors in a year, let's say. And when you sign on to a big publisher, and I've been through this process, I was given a contract, I rejected the contract because I was signing over all of my intellectual property. They would own the book, they would have control of the title. It was onerous. Not just that, if I wanted to give a copy of my book to a friend of mine, I would have to buy it from them for somewhere between 15 and 20 bucks. So if we just pause there for a second, assigning away your intellectual property to somebody else is a big deal. Within that, there were some guarantees of success, as in, you know, you're going to become a top 5 international bestseller, and if we can't make that happen, we'll give you the rights of your book back. That's very different, but that doesn't happen. The way that these companies work is they're looking for the 1, 2, or 3 out of 100 to pop. And that's where they're going to put all their energy, all their focus, all their PR, all their media, all of their energy. So all these authors that you see with all this amazing stuff, what you're not seeing is the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds that signed away their IP, and you know, the book publisher very quickly works out that this thing's not going to take off all by itself. They might do a few little bits and pieces for you, but if you don't get liftoff, they're going to divert their focus elsewhere. So what happens is now your book is in lockup, essentially. That if you want to distribute that book yourself, you essentially have to sell it at the full price so you can buy it off the publisher in the first place. Now, our philosophy around the idea of becoming a key person of influence and a thought leader is about getting that book in the hands of 1,000 meaningful people a year. Not becoming a New York Times bestseller. Don't get me wrong, right? That would be a great goal and a great outcome, but it's kind of like, oh, I want to build a $50 million business. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny percentage of people that have the opportunity to hit that level. What I like doing is I like working with people and getting their head right around how to build a business between $500,000 and $3 million revenue, where it's a lifestyle business. You've got time freedom. You've got financial freedom. You can work 2 or 3 days a week if you like. You've got a great small team that's running things for you. Now, if you've written a great book that changes the way people think, if you own that book, so if you hybrid publish or self-publish and you own and control that book, you can print it for $5 and post it for $5. So for $10, which is less than the entire cost that you could even just purchase the book off your publisher in the first place for, you can get that book into the hand of someone who should really read it. And what we've found is that if you post that book to 1,000 of the right people, let's say you're trying to get into Porsche or do some consulting for KPMG or some big firm, and you pick the 15 people in that organization that you think might be influencers, and you express post them all a book, all on the same day. So they're all opening up and all of a sudden they're talking about it. You've got to ask yourself, is that swinging the odds in your favor? Now multiply that by 100 and consider the amount of opportunity that you'd be attracting every single year. That's how I like to think about it. I've attracted, just as a result of what we do, numerous best-selling authors that are totally broke and that have got their books in lockup with a top name prestigious publisher, and it hasn't done anything to their ability to build and scale a meaningful business that's kicking the door off the hinges and making a dent in the universe. A book can only do so much. It needs to be part of a bigger ecosystem. So I guess in summary, think very long and hard before you go and sign over your work and your ideas to anybody else, let alone a publisher.